we now are in the time, and people want to now be informed. Once you present people with the truth is undeniable. Once you present people with the truth is undeniable.
Why are we here today? We're here today to set the record straight. All the black people in North America did not come here on slave ships. All the black people in America did not come on slave ships. There are from time immemorial, beginning of time, there were black people on every piece of land on this planet. Okay? So tonight, I'm going to tell you about the original people, not only around the world, but the original people here in Louisiana, who are the oldest people found on Earth. Did you know that there's some of the oldest people on the planet found right here in Louisiana? Okay, before it's over, bring it right home to Baton Rouge, okay, and show you some of the oldest people on the planet right here. Okay, so right now, who do you know are the oldest people on the planet? Who's that? Who? Adam and Eve? Magnesh? Dengnesh.
So-called Lucy.
Dengnesh, okay. Well, how old is Adam and Eve? Is that Adam and Eve? Is Eve named Dank? No. Okay. Well, let's deal with some old people we found here in North America, right here. This is an Olmec head. Remember the Olmec head? The Olmecs are thought to be some of the oldest people in North America. We're going to deal with this concept right here. The hidden history of black civilizations in America, okay? There are several civilizations of black people who were right here long before slaves were brought over here, long before any Indians came across the ocean, long before any European explorers came across the ocean. There were a civilization of ancient black people in North America. History records the Olmecs as being the oldest civilization here. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about some other people here. Of course, we've heard about history, about Christopher Columbus. We've given Christopher Columbus our whole life. We know that this is a lie. Okay? There are several books about this. I'm only going to discuss Christopher Columbus. This is not true. Okay? One thing is not true. Let's go on. Also, we've given a history of the African Holocaust, the slave trade. That's part of our history. The slave trade is not our history. We did not do the slave trade. We were victims of the slave trade. The slave trade is the history of Europeans, people from up here, exporting people down here. Okay? These people up here came out of the Ice Age and began to colonize these people and take all of our resources. Okay? We have the continent of Africa. The continent of Africa is the only continent on the planet that is set into the soil, into the ground. All of the continents, South America, North America, Australia, Greenland, all these continents drift. Africa is set in the ground. Okay? Next. This is the way it was at the beginning of time. All these are once connected. Can you see how South America fits perfectly into Africa? You have right here North America and Africa fitting together. My grandmother in California talked about we ain't come from Africa. My grandmother was 6'3" woman, long hair. She came from what they call the territory, Oklahoma. She always talked about we was more than that. We was more than just African. We was more than just slaves. Okay, go next. Next, one more time. My grandma took the time when the planet was called Mu. Today you hear European accounts of Lemuria, Atlantis, all these lost civilizations. We don't know who they were. These people disappeared. Next. And of course we have Africa. Next. An ancient word for Africa, a Moorish word, is a Mexo. Next. A Kibulan is the indigenous name for the continent we know as Africa. This is the name long before any European named Africa Cipicanus renamed our continent. Here you have Egypt. Egypt is a Greek word. Egypt is a Greek word. We say Greek word because if you've gone to school, you will learn that the Greeks were the first civilization recognized in Europe. Up here. Okay? Go ahead. Next. Ultimately, you will find that the very first people, Degnesh, the oldest woman on the planet, 3.1 million years old. 3.1 million. This might be a problem for some people because I grew up in the church, I always talk about Adam and Eve being the first people on the planet. Adam and Eve, if you listen to any theological scholar, religious scholar, they'll tell you Adam and Eve was roughly 6,000 or 7,000 years old. 6,000 or 7,000 years old, yet we have a black woman 3.1 million years old, okay? And I guarantee you she had a mother and a father also. And of course you have Europe. Europe is one of the newest cultures on the planet, okay? When we talk about Europe, we talk about the Caucasians, and we are taught oftentimes right here, this is where Iraq and Iran is, okay? But there was a little bit of geography for people who were not up on the geography. Iraq and Iran are right here. We're taught that this is the cradle of civilization. Mesopotamia, the Tigris-Euphrates rivers, okay? Yet we know that the people here were here for thousands of years. Ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, Tameri. We have our ancient ancestors tell us that the oldest people in the planet came to our zenith in Egypt. But we actually began down here at the beginning of the Nile River, the foot of the mountain of the moon, which is called Mount Kilimanjaro. So understand, the oldest people on the planet come from here, and if you're black or white, you're African American. In America, okay? All the people on the planet started here. So understand the time when the world was like this. Next. The Washitaw people. Who are the Washitaw people? The Washitaw people are some of the oldest people on the planet. We were here in North America, next, right here, before the continents drifted apart. Understand, all these people right here, all this land here was once one landmass. People here did not need a boat to go over here. In history, we're taught constantly that somebody had to get a boat and go from over here to over there. The world is flat. Understand that at one point you didn't have to catch the boat and go across over here. Next. The Washitaw here, when the earth was called Mu. Next. And when the people were called Moors. Okay? Moors. Today they say the word Moor, they spell it with two O's. Moor. It comes from the Latin word Moor. M-A-U-R-O. Maro. Maro. Is a word that simply means black people. A lot of people want to argue, they want to be black, Negro, all these different names. And ultimately, Negro is what? A Spanish word for what? Ultimately, we're all black people. When it comes time, when we're getting jacked up or abused or exploited in some way, we immediately become black. Okay. I am a Moor. Are there any Moors in the house today? We all are Moors. We all are Moors. Okay? Next. Then you have the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Toltecs, more Mayans, the Olmecs. Here is where we are taught the first people in North America existed. Up here you have the Washitaw proper. Do you think it's possible that the people here happen to meet the people up here? Yeah. It's possible, huh? Okay, next. Here you have, what's this right here? Where are we over here? Washitaw. That's the Washitaw people, right? What's right there behind there? What's right here? We got Lake Pontchartrain, huh? We got New Orleans. Now who they say was here? The Washitaw people? The Chawasha. You got the Wichita up here, okay? You got it's not, see this Kushata? That is called Kushita. So Kushita people, okay? Tunica, Natchez, Biloxi, all these are indigenous people, indigenous black people. All this land here is Washitaw. If you ever got a map of the United States, you have the Washitaw River flowing here, up through the Washitaw Forest, over to the Washitaw Mountains. You also have the Washitaw River, the Red River, which runs this way, and ends up the Washitaw River right here, okay? The Washitaw River. When they had the Great Trail of Tears, and the military came in and made all of the Indians get off their land over, next, get off their land over in Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas. They took them all into Oklahoma, into the Washitaw.
You can't see nobody else but yourself. That's what religion is. You must believe in my way or no way. If you don't believe in my way, I have an army. And I'll wipe your people out, and I'll force you to believe my way.